Hello, everyone of the internet. I have had something on my mind for quite some time, and I'd like to express it in this video of mine. And if you see my eyes go out this direction, then I'm basically reading off of something, and there may be some awkward pauses throughout this video, and that's myself basically flipping the page or going to another page so I continue reading what this video will be all about. So, let's get right into it. Comedy movies. We all love them unless you're a big weirdo. Comedy movies have entertained us by making us laugh, cringe, cry, shock, think, and most importantly, they have inspired us. The 20th century has brought us so many iconic and groundbreaking comedy movies. From movies like The Great Dictator, Some Like It Hot, and Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Love the Bomb and Stop Worrying, to Blazing Saddles, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and National Lampoon's Animal House. Yeah, the 20th century was a really great time for comedy movies. The strongest wave of great comedy movies came around the second half of the 20th century, and this strength has lacked once it's entered into the 21st century. The comedy movies that have came out of this century have been either mediocre or just plain bad. I'm looking at you, Adam Sandler films. There have been a few exceptions, though, like Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, Borat, Superbad, and Deadpool. The mainstream comedy movie industry has ultimately gone downhill, and here is my 4 reasons why modern comedy movies suck. Number 4. The visuals. Visuals are the most important thing in any movie or TV show. They bring the audience into the realm of it, make it fascinating, make it unique, and make it rewatchable. Awkward moments right here. This is an example of it happening. It's going to happen about 2 or 3 more times. But, anyways, back to the topic at hand. Today's comedy movies, particularly American comedy movies, have neglected the use of visuals for comedic effect. They rely on just dialogue or someone getting hurt for comedic effect. These are all good and all, but without visuals for comedic effect, the movie will be least enjoyable and not memorable at all. Movies like Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Airplane, and Monty Python and the Holy Grail are great examples of using visuals for a comedy movie. Even some modern comedies have great visuals like The Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World's End, and Borat. Number 3, and this ties into number 2 as well. The jokes. The jokes are simply just bad or mediocre. It seems like the people writing these jokes are not trying to make any good jokes at all and are just simply being lazy with the way they're going about it in order to sell the movie as a comedy. I'm talking about you, Adam Sandler. I'm talking... Just his name makes me have those like Vietnam or flashbacks of all his terrible films. Jack and Jill. Let's move out of that shit and let's get to number 2, which is the overuse of crude humor. Now, I am a fan of crude humor, and I do that humor myself with my comedy, but the way that these comedy movies are going about it is not funny or great. They don't try to attempt the humor in a different, unique way. They just do it in a straightforward, boring way that makes it fall flat, and I would say that has to do with the fact that the concept of the joke is just plain not funny at all as well. The mainstream comedy movie industry relies on crude comedies too much because they know what sells, and these movies bring people to the movies in the millions. It's the same old formula with these type of movies, or when they're made. National Lampoon's Animal House pretty much started this whole genre of a comedy movie, along with the gross-out comedy genre, and Animal House is one of the most greatest comedy movies ever made. There's no doubt about that. And the reason why that is because it was so different when it was released, and it was pretty much groundbreaking in the way it did about its humor. A movie like American Pie reinvented the crude comedy genre, and movies that try to emulate that success and greatness borrow too much or too little from American Pie, and they pretty much failed. They didn't capture the glory or emulate the glory that was American Pie. They just failed. But with the current trend of movies that rely on too much of crude humor, not reinventing the humor with originality, they are doomed to be stale and predictable. That's the sad truth about it. Awkward pause, but getting through this video. My number one reason why comedy movies suck is that they lack originality and uniqueness. Number one basically ties into number two in a way, but the bottom line is that the studios are not willing to use radical unorthodox to allow radical unorthodox comedy movies in the mainstream anymore compared to what they allowed Mel Brooks, Monty Python, Zucker Brothers, and Farrelly Brothers to do. They don't want to take a risk. They want to stick to what they know works, and what works is crude comedy movies. It seems like the only new comedies that would find that you would be able to find that have uniqueness and originality or independent comedy movies. And I would say, personally, I wish Adult Swim was at the same level as Paramount, Warner Brothers, or Universal Pictures, because if it was like that, then the comedy movies that they would produce and distribute to the mainstream would be very original and very out there and great, I would say. I'm sure they'll have a few flops, but I think some movies will stick out as pretty well done. And I would say that's the reason why I think modern comedy movies suck, all for reasons. I'm sorry if this video was a bit awkward and unorthodox way of doing something that's like this, but who cares, really? It's just my way of trying to express myself. But I hope you all enjoy this video, and I'll see you another time. Peace, and have a nice life.